Are we live?
Okay, we're good.
Yay.
All right. Welcome to Invited Speech Review for COM. It's public speaking class. Who would like to go first?
Well, you mean like who are we gonna start with to talk
Yeah.
about?
Who was the first to go? I think Anna, you were the first to speak. So
let's go in that order.
So we all went after the first.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll start
Sounds
with
good.
Anais.
Yeah.
Julia, take it away.
Okay. Hold on. Let me just get the volume up. All right. I'm gonna set a timer as well for this round.
Yes.
So that way we don't go over.
Oh yeah, me and Julia were talking about how we think that like everyone should talk about, like when it's your turn, you should kind of talk about like everyone's speeches rather than doing one person at a time, because then it will go by faster.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so for Anais' speech was you talked about birth control. So you started off really, really well. You also did a Prezi, right? So
Yeah.
So that completely shifted your speech entirely, because everybody else was doing a PowerPoint. Instead, you did a Prezi, which made it a lot more interesting and really, I think, pulled the audience in, because you're like, oh, this is new. This is something new. And then the way you talked about it and the way you brought it in through like history talking as well as modern day type things and the costs about things, it really enlightened everything. And overall, like with that ending quote that you came up with was really well done. Yeah, so good job.
Put certain people in there.
Exactly, yeah. And answering question-wise was really, really well done. So good job on that. Should I just keep going? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Who was next?
It was me.
Taylor. Okay, and you talked about
I did more like natural, like doctors going for more
natural
natural
approaches versus
Oh.
pharmaceutical.
adding on to that, and like the whole, we all say with health things, which I think was a good idea. But you made it really, you did a good job of like staying on point with what you wanted to talk about, which was really good. And also bringing in that emotional factor, I think, about your dad and everything, and how his whole story and everything. I think that really drove home the point of why you want to talk about this, how this is going to benefit others. But you also were able to invite people to understand and give them a personal type feeling. Because what is it, pathos or something like that? Or
I didn't mean to go for a more pathos.
Yeah.
Route. That's what it ended up being, but I hope it was also like informational. Like I wanted to give you like real life stories, like this happened, you know?
Mm-hmm. And then Marlene with the lovely vaccines. Nicely done. Yeah, you did a really great job as well, presenting the information, staying on topic, as well as inviting. I think you really did a good job of inviting the class to participate, because you did answer a lot of questions. And then also the shout out was really nice as well, because like that meant like people were also listening. So anyways, good job overall, everybody. And all right, who's next?
All right. I guess I will go next. I will start with Anais. Anais, I really liked yours because I myself, do not take birth control, and I actually learned a lot from yours. Like I know the Invitational, it's not supposed to be like a debate, it's supposed to be like a sharing of ideas, but like I feel like you really hit it on the head, because like you taught me a lot. Like my experience, not experience, but knowledge with birth control is it keeps you from getting pregnant. It helps with your menstrual cycle, it helps even it out. It helps with cramps and other symptoms. But like you taught me a lot of like the health benefits, and like especially when you talked about like how it helps control your skin, like being someone who's always struggled with acne, like you just gave me a lot of extra information that I didn't know existed. Like I felt like you were educating me as much as you were educating the guys in the room. So it was definitely very informational, and like you weren't trying to like sell us on how like, oh, birth control should be included as a form of I think she was trying to talk about how it should also be included in like healthcare and stuff.
Yeah, how it should be included or fully covered by health insurance.
Yeah, like that's something I've considered before, and like I honestly feel strongly about it, because it's not just something to help keep us from getting pregnant, it is a health issue. So I like how you brought it back to that, how it should be covered under healthcare. Oh, sorry. phone's on 10%.
Oh,
It should be covered under healthcare plans. And
That's okay.
sorry. So I think you did a very good job. It was informational. You weren't trying to push your ideas on anybody. Like, you did a very good job. I liked it. So Julia's, you talked about what is
inhalers in school. Yeah.
Yes, inhalers in school. I myself did not struggle with asthma as a child, but I did struggle with breathing problems. I never needed an inhaler or anything like that, but I know people who did.
Mhm.
And, I know they worry about, there being some children like, oh, the kids are, okay, is it going to reach? Oh my.
Ooh,
I
sorry.
think it'll reach. Maybe I can have an eat it.
All right, just finish your talking and then.
Okay. But, oh my gosh, I totally lost my train of thought.
Asthma inhalers.
Asthma inhalers. Oh yeah, I remember being in school and having friends who needed asthma inhalers, and they weren't worried about it, but they would express to me even at a young age, like 9 or 10, being yeah, I need this, my life depends on this, or I would be in the nurse's office and I would see someone come in and they would be just so mature about it.
Mm.
So I like the fact that you brought attention, and it's something that no one talks about, and even though you weren't trying to sell us on the idea, you were trying to get across the importance.
Mm.
I really like that. I feel like no one in the class really tried to sell, they just tried to get across importance, and I feel like you were one of the people who really did that, especially since it's close to home for you.
Mm.
So I think you also did a very good job. And Marlene, I'm sorry I did not see yours. I was taking care of some personal matters, so I could not be in class that day. But you
It's okay.
talked about
Vaccination.
vaccines. I heard from someone that you kind of did a thing where you brought in different people's presentations into yours. You kind of gave shout outs and mentioned other people.
I mean, mostly just Julia. But yeah.
I still think that's cool though. I don't know. I mean, I know there's not a lot I can say about yours, but I still think that was cool because it shows that you were listening. And that's the whole point of an invitational, to make sure you're listening to someone else's idea and not just listening, but understanding.
Mm,
So kudos on that one, dude.
thanks.
You're welcome. All right. So here we go.
I'll go next, I guess, I suppose.
I'm gonna plug in Anai.
Plug her in. Plug her in.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead, Marlene.
Oh, okay. Well, for Anais, I really liked it because it, I don't know, you definitely knew what you were talking about. You definitely,
Hold up. Wait, start on somebody else really quick.
okay. Taylor, I'll talk about yours. Oh my God, did you end the call?
Okay.
Did your phone die? Oh, okay. Wait, so who do I start with now?
Let's just start over. Marlene, you have the floor.
Okay, I'm gonna start with Julia. With Julia. Okay, so I really liked yours because you did bring it to something that you have. It was very personal. It was something that you experienced firsthand and that you work with because it's something that you have. And I thought that was really cool. I definitely agree with Taylor where she says that you were inviting people to understand your side of the situation because it is tough. It is, I don't know, I feel like it's a very trust-based topic because kind of like what Bethany was saying where it's yeah, you can give it to the person, but you have to trust them to know to not mess around with it or not lose it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you did a really good job with, I guess, hearing everyone's stories and answering any questions that were given to you. So I thought that was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you did a really good job. So good job. Good job. Taylor, I really liked yours as well. I really liked how you emphasized lifestyle change and not so much easy fix now, but more so hey, my dad was this way. He had this many issues. He, struggled with so A, B, and C, but he changed his lifestyle. He changed his diet habits, his exercise routine, and now he doesn't have this anymore. And he also doesn't have to take this medication because of it. So I thought that was really cool. You gave a lot of information, but it was not overwhelming. It wasn't like you were flooding the class with a lot of stuff. And you did a really good job with answering the questions, because I know some people maybe didn't understand a lot, or like didn't understand what you were trying to portray, but I thought it was a really good job. And you're always like fun to watch because you're a good speaker.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anai, I really liked yours as well. I thought you did a really, really good job. I did like how you brought it back to yourself and how you work in a pharmacy, and that you do see that a lot of people sometimes have to pay very expensive, like obviously a lot of money for like birth control, and that shouldn't, everything, all of these things, whether if it's just for like birth prevention or like contraception or acne, or for you it's anemia. I think I agreed with what you were saying, and I totally understood it. Like I never felt like I was lost. I never felt again, like with Taylor, I never felt bombarded with all your information. And I thought you did a really good job with answering the questions that a lot of the guys in class had and didn't know the answers to, which I thought was really funny. But yeah, I thought you did a really good job with all of that, and it was very informative. Yeah.
Okay, we're just about 7 minutes in, so Anai, you have the floor.
It's all you, girl.
So I'm going to start with Julia. I honestly took your topic very personal, just because my brother has a very slight degree of asthma. And when you were going over the type of asthmas, I learned what kind of asthma he has. The doctor has never been clear. He never knows what kind of asthma my brother has, but it was the physical or sport asthma you presented. And then you know how we're supposed to have like a credibility statement? Well, I feel like your statement's really credible because you suffer with asthma basically since you were born. That made it really credible. And then you didn't overwhelm us with information. It was just enough where and then you brought like these funny kind of like stories out, including little Jimmy. It was funny.
That was funny.
Yours
was great.
I don't know. I thought it was just really relevant, and then the way you answered the questions, you answered them gracefully. Like you knew how to come back. Like you accepted that there was some really good counter arguments, but you're just like, that's true, but then these are like the other options that are at stake if they don't have their inhaler with them. So I really enjoyed your presentation.
Thank
I
you very
did like
much.
that. Like those were some tough questions, and like you took them in stride, dude.
Thanks.
Like, you knew what you were talking about.
It helps to have the disease. Anyways, who's next?
Now next going with Taylor. Taylor, I actually even saw you working on it. We actually worked on it together last week. And I think I really like Taylor's because at the beginning when she told me about her topic, I was just like, yeah, but I was really lost about it.
I was
too. And then the minute she presented, I finally started to understand. And then it was another very relevant topic for me as I work in a pharmacy. I see how pricey medication can be. And it wasn't the way she invited. People probably didn't understand, which I don't know why, because if you were paying attention, it's very understandable. You presented your key points, and everything was just well organized. And I think you're using your dad as an example was probably like the best way to show your credibility. And it's just there's no better way to like prove your point than using your dad as the example. I felt like everything kind of like showed like it made your topic a little more clear by that example, showing, it's not that difficult. All you have to do is eat a little less, go for a walk. My dad did it. Look at the pictures before and after. Now he doesn't have to go through all this medication and breathing machines to sleep carefully. Your topic was good, and then you presented very well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, and now Marlene. I think you did really good because somehow vaccinations is just like too much of a topic. Like everyone talks about it somehow. And well, you presented vaccinations in a really good way. Like even Dr. Wilson talked about it, but you brought it and you made it very, very Okay, you made your topic very relevant, and it was useful because we kind of hear about vaccination all the time, but it wasn't boring. Like, you presented new information. Like, you knew what you were talking about. You included your articles well when you were defending your position. Like, Connor was always asking these questions, and you definitely knew how to answer them back. And you knew what your topic was about. So I thought that was very useful.
See, I wasn't there to see you
Nicely done.
combat Connor's questions, but we all know about Connor's questions. So God bless you. If you were able to take on those questions, God
All
bless
right,
you.
let's not bash Connor, everybody.
I was just
Let's
saying,
not-
man. No, like really, not to bash.
Everyone likes
He
Connor.
did ask some
We
hard
have a
questions. You know,
consensus that we like everyone
Yeah,
except Connor.
But I think he presented. He was a good devil's advocate. I think
He was.
Yeah,
was
I think
really good.
definitely. It was a good thing because everything that he asked me, like, for the most part, like, I did know, I did have an answer to it. Like, it would have sucked if he was just like, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I was just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But, like, that's a good question. Like, there was something that, you know, our professor asked us, and I knew a little bit, but I couldn't give her a full answer because it really wasn't part of my research. But, I mean, it did help because it did help, I guess, you know, Bethany see that, like, I did know what I was talking about and I did do research on it. It wasn't just, like, half-assed, you know?
Gotcha.
but like I did like the hard questions because she and Connor and like a few other people, I think Vincent as well, frequently offer hard questions, and like I think that helped us to understand the whole point of the invitational, you know? To like really accept other people's ideas, because like when someone's bombarding you with all this counter argument, it's hard to like be accepting, but it's good practice.
All right. Well, we're now at 13 minutes.
Not bad.
Not bad, everybody. Good
Woo!
job.
Better than 31.
Kept it under 20, which is always a good thing. Okay. So we can end it here, and then we'll just wrap it up on our own.
All right.
Sounds good. Till next time.